You can increase your productivity by 5 or 10 times overnight by putting the 3 methods into action that I'm going to give you in my free course. So go download it right now by clicking the link just below here. What's your ego? What is it? That's egoic behavior. Or I was taken over by my ego. If you're into, New Age spirituality, I'm not talking about religion, but I'm talking about, Eckhart Tolle, all kinds of other teachers out there. We have this concept of the ego. But what is it? In my perspective, after really studying it for several years, it's a box. It's a mental box that we write ego on, and then we put all the things we don't like about ourselves in that box. We call that egoic behavior. Sorry, I was taken over by my ego. But what does ego really mean? It means I am. That pronounced, ego means I am. That's what it means. So how can we take I am and make it something separate from ourselves? And who are you? If you have an ego, then who are you? I am the spirit that, so you are the spirit, and I am the soul. But who's thinking then? It's just a big mess. We're just adults that play games with concepts. What we need to do is really own that ego because it's part of the whole thing, right? We can't just separate stuff and say this belongs over here. Well, we can. And what does that do? Well, suddenly, all the things I don't like about myself, I don't need to have, low self-esteem or be not confident in myself. I can just, everything I don't like, I can just put it in a box and say, that's not me. How convenient is that? That's amazing. And then I can work with my ego, but all that work is all about escaping the ego, staring it in the eye. Jealousy appears in my body. What do? I focus intensely on the feeling in my body so I'm not taken over by ego. That's cool. Or I focus intensely on how the feeling of rage feels in my body because I know if I drop that focus for only 1/2 of a second, I get that. I become that rage, right? I'm reacting it out. So that staring it down is a really good strategy. But it's like a first step, right? Because what are you going to do about the fact that you're always getting so freaking angry every time something like that happens? And that's what ego does. That's what the concept of ego does, is that it has that, this is not me, this is not me, this is not me, it's not me. And I can just stare it in the face when it happens, and then it will gradually dissolve. It won't always just dissolve by staring it in the face or noting or being present. Those are cool strategies, believe me, they are. But it's first aid, right? And sometimes it dissolves because you realize and you experience the world without that rage because you focus on it, right? Then you see the love from your kids that you're getting when you're not shouting at them, or the situation you're in where you used to be angry all the time gets better because you're not angry all the time because you get intensely present. There's nothing wrong with the strategy, but anger is part of your body. The lower parts of the brain produces that basic survival strategy of fight or flight or jealousy or whatever it is. It's a lower level strategy, but it's about survival. So it gradually or very rapidly takes over your frontal lobes because they can do that because it's about survival, those emotions, right? And once your frontal lobes are completely taken over by it, they think like the lower levels of the brain. You experience anger, you become anger, and when I say you, the frontal lobes are now completely in the grip of that basic emotion, thinks the thoughts of survival, feels threatened, feels paranoid. But it's not ego. It's a survival strategy, that envy feeling, that being ambitious, being desirous, right? Being dissatisfied, being frustrated. It's all part of the brain and how it works. And the frontal lobes cannot deal with that by saying, that's not me. That's egoic thought, right? That's a human condition. And what is in that as well is shame, right? All kinds of other things. But why, I've been working on my ego for 10 years now, and I'm still not. And it's always pretend as well, right? The first kind of strategy you come up with, just pretend it's not there because I'm above that, because I'm spiritual. So I'm not egoic anymore. Sometimes my ego comes up and it does whatever. It's just, we're just lying to ourselves. Deal with it for freak's sake, right? I always get angry at her when she does that. What's going on? Figure it out. That's frontal lobe activity. You can use your frontal lobes to come up with an imaginary box for all the behavior you don't like, or you can deal with it. Figure out, why do I react like that? What are the beliefs I have about that situation, right? That's the hard work. And when we don't want to do that, we can go, come up with a little box for all our bad stuff, and then simply pretend it's not there, pretend it's not us. Nothing wrong with the Om and the meditation or whatever, or the focus and the presence, but the concept of believing that crap is just going to be toxic. Don't forget to subscribe if you survived this video, and hit the bell icon and go download our free course on productivity. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.